What's up, everybody? Welcome to CRNIRULES once again. Here I am after 2 weeks, and I'll be coming up with another live interview. This one is going to be fully in English, and it is basically going to be my very first interview that I'm doing fully in English language. Of course, it's going to be a little challenge for me because, as you probably all know, English is my second language. But I believe in myself. I'm pretty confident, and I believe I'll be able to make it today. Today I'll be having a great guy. His name is Hunter, and he is my very close friend, very good friend. He's an American guy from Michigan. Now, currently, he is resident here in New York. He lives and trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu right here. But one of the reasons why I wanted to make this happen, to make this interview with Hunter, is not just the fact that he is training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and that he is so passionate about it. There is another couple of reasons because I believe that he has a very specific kind of like mindset and very specific view into the sport in general, not just in jiu-jitsu. And like he said to me once, to me, Brazilian jiu-jitsu is not a sport, it's a martial art, and I train every single day to be a better martial artist. That's why I wanted to speak with him. Generally, I would like to speak about jiu-jitsu, but of course I would ask him a couple of questions about his personal life and about his maybe plans for the future. I met him here in New York, and since day one, somehow we got together and we trained together. I really like this guy, and I just wanted to bring him on board and to try to make this interview with him. I would like that people who will be watching it live and people who will be watching it later on my Facebook page and of course on my Instagram profile enjoy in this conversation. Now I can invite Hunter to join me. It's a bit earlier. I wanted him to join me around 2 o'clock just because of the fact that back home in my country is 6 hours difference, and that people are back home now sitting enjoying whatever. Maybe they might be able to watch this interview and to listen what he has to say. I prepared a set of questions for Hunter, and I wanted to speak a little bit about his childhood, of course his way to New York, maybe his professional life, and of course the main content is going to be jiu-jitsu and sport that we both trained and that he is passionate about. So while I'm waiting for Hunter to join me, I wish you guys welcome, and I would like you to share this live with your friends, maybe who train the similar or same sport, and maybe they might be able to hear something positive. Okay, Hunter is going to join me right now. I'm going to check if everything is working for us. What's up, brother? How do you hear me? Is everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. Can you hear me?
Of course, I hear you perfectly. 10 out of 10.
Good. Good,
on the beginning, I would like to welcome you, and I want to thank you for joining me today, for joining me on my Instagram profile. Of course, this video is going to be posted on my Facebook page as well later on. So thank you for coming on, and welcome, brother.
Thanks for having me, Ogi.
Listen, on the beginning, I would like to ask you if you could maybe introduce yourself, when and where you born, and how old are you, and maybe to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. So, hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name's Hunter, 29 years old. I'm from Michigan originally. I was born in Michigan and pretty much raised in Michigan. So, No, I'm in New York.
Living in Michigan as a like a young boy and growing up in that state and city, I would say. How was it on the beginning? You know, were you kind of like attracted with some sports? What was it during your childhood? As we know, many kids are attracted with some sports as football, basketball, and so on and so forth. So what attracted you on the beginning in your childhood? What was attractive to you when it comes to sport?
Yeah, so I grew up with six brothers, so I was always a house filled with wrestling and fighting. But interestingly enough, that didn't actually interest me for so long. I liked running, and I ran in elementary school like all the time, and that was my thing. That, and of course, hanging out with friends. Uh, so I spent the greater part of my childhood just like running and hanging out with my friends. Yeah.
Beautiful. Like you said, you have a pretty big family over there. A lot of brothers. I've just met last night one of
Yeah.
your brothers. Yeah, that's a very big family. Uh, as when did you got introduced to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and who actually did it for you, and how did look how it looks like in the past? How was it?
Yeah. So two of my brothers, well, one of my brothers, particularly my older brother, Tyler, he started training first, and he used it maliciously to attack us, and he got this power. He's the older brother, so he's going to beat up his younger brothers, and that's what he did. And so, um, since I was a runner, so he would always try to chase me. So I just run from him. He would never be able to catch me. So he caught my one of my younger brothers, Jordan, and he would attack him all the time. And so then it came to the point where my brother Jordan actually wanted to start training too, so that way he could defend himself more. And so then my brother Jordan got into jiu-jitsu, and ultimately he was the one that convinced me to start training. Um, so
How did you like it on the beginning? Was it attractive to you, and was it popular in your city back in the days?
there were a couple dojos around, but it wasn't. It certainly wasn't as big then in my town as it is like now. So yeah, there were a couple. I enjoyed actually. Yeah, it was. I definitely enjoyed training initially, but I didn't have any plans to really pursue it like I am now.
I totally understand. Have you done maybe some competitions in that early ages, or was it possible to compete and to feel maybe a little bit how it looks like in a real situation?
Yeah, so in 2012, I did my first competition. I was I think a one-stripe white belt, and it was the Michigan State Open. And fortunately, I was able to win it. But that was, and then after I did that, I went out to the military the day after, and then I just stopped. I had no intent of training again after. So
That's what I wanted to ask you. My next question was related to that. Actually, when you graduated from school, you just decided to join the military. And if I'm not mistaken, you were very young that time. You know, normally here in United States, I learned that many guys after the high school or wherever, they would like to join the college or whatever. But you just decided to go straight up to the military. And why was it your decision? Was there anyone maybe who motivated you and who said, listen, military is a good choice for you, or you just decided just like that straight up?
I always had this. Um, I always thought that I would join the military. Like that to me was just the next step in life, and that's probably partially due to my lack of interest in jiu-jitsu as well. Is because, like I said, I always wanted to join the military. That was my thing. I wanted to be in the military, and I was going to serve at least the basic contract and complete my term before I decided to do anything else. And so that was the next step for me. The right choice at the time as well.
Understood. So after your basic training in the military, you got posted in Alaska, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, so they give us this like it's like a wish list. Like, where would you want to be stationed? And I, I don't know. I've always wanted to go to Alaska, so I threw down Alaska, and I was like, well, we'll see what happens. And lo and behold, by the time I graduated, they gave us our orders, and I was like, oh, they're like, you're going to Alaska, so it was great. I was pretty stoked about that.
How about your family? How they received the news that okay, Hunter after training he just is going to leave and he will be posted in Alaska? Were they a little bit worried? Oh my God, how is that going to happen? Were they worried about you, or just they were happy, right?
Actually, yeah, they were pretty happy. It's cool to be able to go to Alaska. You see the Northern Lights. You got Denali National Park you get to see, and it's just immensely beautiful with like coastline and mountains, and it's just a great state.
Honestly, that's my wish. Once in the future, probably, I hope I'll be able to visit Alaska and maybe to go there with my family just to enjoy a couple of days. Let's see what will happen. Then my next question is related to the actually that part of your career, I would say. You were posted in Alaska. I cannot remember the city, but you told me, and then you met a couple of people who train actually jiu-jitsu, and that's how it started over there. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so after I did my first tournament in jiu-jitsu with my brothers, I shipped out to basic training the very next day, and then I had no interest in doing jiu-jitsu after that. To me, I didn't care. I was going into the military, and that was what I was going to do. And so then once I get stationed in Fairbanks, Alaska, um, you know, brand new private on the base. I didn't have a car, I didn't have anything, and the only way to get around was with friends. So what I did one day, we were doing PT, and uh, my sergeant and another team and a team leader of mine they found out that I did jiu-jitsu. It was only for 3 months I did jiu-jitsu. And so they found out that I did jiu-jitsu, and so they asked me, they said, hey, why don't, like, you like martial arts? I was like, yeah, I think so, it's all right. And so they're like, well, come with us, we're gonna go check out this Krav Maga school. So they pulled me along to go to a Krav Maga class, and that was kind of my reintroduction to martial arts. We went for a Krav Maga class, and then uh, I get into the building, and we talk to the instructor for the Krav class, and I noticed out of the corner of my eye there was a separate room, and people were doing jiu-jitsu in the other room, and I was like, oh man. So I waited for him to finish talking, and then I went over to the jiu-jitsu room, and I took a look, and I was like, man, this kind of looks fun. Uh, so then I finished. So I went back to Krav. I did the Krav class, and after Krav class, I went back to the professor for jiu-jitsu, and I just asked him. I asked when the next class was, and if I could come and start training. And nah.
How long did you train in that gym over there in Alaska?
So I trained for about 2.5, maybe three, close to 3 years at that gym, and it was under a guy. I credit so much these two guys, my two professors over there, Garrett Hartley and Carlson George, and those guys. They've helped me. They really were the ones that kind of molded my like reshaped my focus to jiu-jitsu.
That's nice, really. I always like when people talk about their beginnings, and they recognize how important is it that that first approach on the very beginning. How important is it to give you a very good foundation so that you can later advance your game and advance yourself in total. Yeah, I would like to ask you, maybe during that stay in Alaska, how would you maybe explain what was the level of if I may say, quality when it comes to training partners, to maybe to the guys who were there among all of you in the gym? How was it? Was it like high level, or what do you think? How would you describe it?
Yeah, so first, just to explain, Fairbanks is like one of the last, I would say, cities before you get into the Arctic. And so there's not really much there. Fairbanks is a pretty small town. There were two dojos there, and the guys I got to train with at Krav Maga, I would say high level. They're pretty tough. They were very, tough people. Medaled. The Carl medaled at many IBGF tournaments, and the instruction was great.
That's amazing, man. So what do you think, what is crucial to get attached to some sport? Like you said, you were there, you were inside the dojo, you were doing a Krav Maga, but in the corner of your eye, you saw that that mat, people were doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you were just, oh my God, I'm so attracted with this one. I want to go to try to train with this guy. So what do you
Hmm.
think, what is this crucial thing which get people's, how to say, attention when it comes to certain martial arts, to certain sports? And how was it in your case?
Yeah, so for me, it was one, my brothers were still training. And so they would always ask me, like, hey, dude, are you training? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, no. And then after I started to actually train again, I was telling them that, and they were pretty excited for me. They were happy for me. So having the support field of them, and then also just being surrounded by good people, you know, who are goal oriented and they actually want to see you succeed, you know, kind of helps you stick to something. Because you can actually think to yourself like, wow, I can actually do something. I can actually accomplish this. And so you're like, why would I give this up? I could be good.
That's a great point. Even though jiu-jitsu is kind of like individual sport, when you go out there, yes, you fight alone against other guy, you know. But
Hmm.
again, I would also say it's so group sport where people help each other, where people, how to say, motivate you
Yeah.
to come back and to continue training. Actually, who gives you kind of like fire when it comes to the, when you are sometimes down, you know, and you don't feel well. It's really nice when you have people among you, like you said, with the same goals, just to improve every other day. And you said very good point over there, you know. uh, it's important to have people around you who will motivate and put you up. Now my question is, during your stay in Alaska, and in general, I might say, we know that all athletes who train, I must say full time, because I know how much you train. You know, even though you are not professional athlete, but I know how much you train. You train like maybe more than some professional athletes. Have you ever been in the situation that something puts you down, like some kind of injury or something that stops you from training, from being 100% active? And how did you overcome this kind of like, you know, like problems? And how did you came back? I assume that you have had some kind of situations like this.
Yeah. So I do train a lot, probably too much. I tend to push through injuries quite often. Like, for example, now I hurt my knee, so I've still been training through that. Uh, but as for barriers, yeah, so injuries, like my purple belt, I got injured a lot as a purple belt. I popped my rib twice, hurt one of my knees, and so it took a lot. I was actually signed up for some competitions too, to but then like right before the tournament I popped my rib, and then getting ready for another one, I re-injured my rib a couple weeks out, and then just having to take the time off to rehab that, it's pretty tough. So to get through it, man, it's hard, when you have to take time off from doing something that you really enjoy to do, that you do every single day. It's pretty tricky. So I'll try to like when I really start to feel like down or something, I'll watch some videos, some jiu-jitsu videos of like my favorite martial artists, and that kind of helps get me in the spot. Or I'll just do something, like whatever I can do to like work towards what I'm trying to achieve, whether that be stretching to improve my guard, or just, I don't know, doing push-ups, just sort of
Understand.
just staying active. Yeah, then that really helps me out.
Understand. What I found interesting for myself, I don't know, maybe you will be sharing the same opinion as me, and maybe you do the same. I learned from some people in jiu-jitsu world that you can also do sometimes mental training. What that means, for example, if I'm not able to be physically present and active to train and to drill and to improve my techniques and my moves and whatever, I might be staying, let's say, at work or back home, and I might think about it, and I might go through the techniques and situations mentally. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but many people does that. I don't know if you share the same opinion with me.
Yeah. Absolutely, I
Yep.
do. I think it's really important because I mean, ultimately, yeah, like jiu-jitsu is a group martial arts, so you have to be able to you can't get better without someone else helping you. And when you go to compete, that's when it kind of separates because you have to go out there yourself. And so the mental training is very important because you have to be able to believe in yourself, right? And you have to, and to me, that's like the biggest problem I have with jiu-jitsu is the mental. You know, you have to tell yourself to believe, and then you can think about positions constantly too to help improve as well. So it's I would agree with you. I think it's a very important part.
I understand. Now, coming back from the military service, actually, and let's say coming back to, I would say, normal world, like civilian life, you have decided to do something which many people would not do. You just picked up your backpack and your dreams in that backpack, and you just came to the one of the most expensive cities in the world and most challenging places in the world for life in general. So my question to you is how you decided to move to New York. What was the motivation, and actually what was crucial for that decision? Okay, Hunter is taking his backpack and now I'm leaving.
Yeah, so my brother Jordan, he came to Alaska with me, and at some point in training, I had decided that I wanted to do jiu-jitsu for the rest of my life. So uh, I was so we were thinking actually of going to Brazil. We wanted to go travel and we wanted to train martial arts, and that was kind of our thing. So we were thinking, why not go to like the birthplace? Uh, and so we were set on going to Brazil. But then one day I was training with one of my buddies, and I saw this Marcelo Garcia highlight, and I was just like, dude, this guy is awesome. And and so I messaged my brother, and I was like, hey, dude, what do you think about New York? And he goes, man, yeah, Marcelo's there, and we could go train with Marcelo. And I was like, yeah, dude, that's kind of what I was thinking. And so then we just decided instead of going to Brazil that we would just come to New York. So after I got out of the military, um, I think it was probably 1 week after I got out of the military, I had my brother drop him and I off at Penn Station. And then my brother left. Dude, I had never been to New York before. I couldn't get a house to stay prior to. So I was like, we'll just figure out when we get there. And we came to New York 2016. And then, we stayed in Hotel Pennsylvania and we started training at Marcelo's. That's how it went.
So you started from the very first day to train at Marcelo Garcia gym. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to go anywhere else, just there. That was your goal. You came there. Which belt you were that time, and what was your background? How, like, couple of years of jiu-jitsu, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Like,
at that time, I think I trained consistently from the end of 2013 until the beginning of 2016, so a little less than 3 years. And um, I was a blue belt, um, two stripe or three stripe, I can't remember, um, when I got to New York.
how were you accepted in Marcelo Garcia gym? I assume it was very, very nice, of course, because I know some people, you introduced me to them, that they are really nice guys and they are really supportive. But I would like to ask you maybe to give me a couple of informations about it, how it looked like on the beginning. Was it hard to get in, and maybe to, how to say, to become part of the team?
Yeah, so first off, the environment there is amazing. I I came here to train New York at Marcelo's, and I have trained at only one other gym since I've been in New York. And to me, it's like if I'm not training at Marcelo's, then I didn't need to go into the other gym because I came to train at Marcelo Garcia's academy, and so that's why I stayed there this whole time, and I don't really deviate from the gym too often. But um, getting accepted, so Phil Zeno is like one of the greatest dudes I met in New York. He works the front desk, and my first class was a 7 a.m. class, and he was working the front desk at the time. He's very nice guy. And then it's you go there and you're gonna get every single one of their classes. They always have tough dudes, and I was put through the gauntlet at the very beginning. Man, I tell you what, I rolled with um, like three really high level guys back to back. I think they kind of just put me through the gauntlet, just to see what I was about. And then those were my first friends at Marcelo's. They did, we had a good time, and they're great people, and so I still train with all of them today, actually.
That's nice. I know how close you are, guys, and that's really nice. I went through kind of similar story. In my gym, I was also like, I came straight to Henzo's from my country, and I knew before I came to the States that I'll be training there, and I went after 2 days. I got to United States. I went straight there. I got really accepted, and that's how it is. I believe in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and in sports in general. You really, if you enjoy training it, and if you enjoy in that what you are doing, people recognize it, and people recognize very very easy that you are not faking, and
Hmm.
actually, who would fake to go there and to train like all over again, and to fight
Yeah.
all these machines? It's really a special story. So now my question is, you train in Marcelo Garcia gym for how long now, consistently?
Uh, I would, so 2016, I left New York actually, after 6 months of being here, because I left home in the beginning of 2013, like January. I joined the military. I was gone for 3 years, and then when I get out of the military, I go straight to New York. I kind of miss my family. I wanted to go back and see them, so I left New York, and I was going to train in Michigan. I actually had no intent coming back out here. But my professor in Michigan, he actually convinced me to come back to New York. So I came back to New York 2017, and I've been trained at Marcelo's ever since.
So what do you think? Was that a good decision to come back here in terms of progress, in terms of your advancing your jiu-jitsu on another level? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he said if I want to do this professionally, that it's not in Battle Creek, Michigan. To
I,
get back to New York and surround myself with all those guys.
you had one super fight, if I'm not mistaken, uh, no gi, right? It was in
Yes.
your purple belt division, right?
So I versed a brown belt at the time from Matt Serra's gym. Uh, and so that was kind of like after Worlds in 2016. That was one of the first competitions I did when I came back. So
How you felt that? Because I assume it's a little bit different energy over there when it comes to these super fights. All this like stage and setup and everything, production. I would say it's pretty amazing to me how it looks like in a real fight over there.
yeah, it was really cool. It was at the Capitol in Chinatown, and I mean, Rise put on a great event. It was awesome, and then I don't know, just it felt fun. It felt fun to compete. It was cool. It was a really cool experience.
Actually, for the records, you won that fight, right?
Yeah, submission only event. So I managed to get an armbar with, like, I don't know, maybe about a minute left or so in the match. Very tough opponent, and I
That's
think he
great.
won. Yeah, he won a lot of matches before and after. So yeah, I mean, the guy was awesome. He's a great dude.
That's really great. So now we are coming to this let's say reality now when it comes to our lives over here. Pandemic 2020, it messed up everyone all around the world, and of course New York was very badly hit by this pandemic, unfortunately, by the virus, and many gyms got closed, and we were not able to train since March, at least legally. And yeah, and this pandemic brought us disaster, everyone, like I said, all around the world, but also brought us some new, let's say, opportunities and changes. So I know that during the pandemic time, you actually got, I would say, closer with some very high level people when it comes to jiu-jitsu, to our sport. And you got introduced to some, I must say, the superstars when it comes to our sport. And now you train constantly with these high level people. So please tell me a little bit more about it, who they are, how it looks like to train with them, and actually, yeah, there's something about it, because that is amazing to me personally.
Yeah, so first I'm very fortunate. I get to train a lot with Gianni Grippo. He's awesome. One of the best, one of the best there is. So because of that, and I was able, yeah, I'm very fortunate. You know, I've made a lot of good friends, and because of that, I've been able to train and train with them a lot, and just ultimately get better. And because of that, so I've been going to UFC Gym Hoboken and training over there, thanks to Richie and Gianni and those guys. And somehow, one way or another, we ended up getting the Meows out there as well, the Meow brothers. And so I've been fortunate to be able to train and learn from them on top of just my partners and teammates from Marcelo's. And it's, my gosh, man, it's wonderful. You know, this every single day, just training as hard as I can with top class athletes. It's a blessing, truly.
Would you, I know it's maybe not fair to talk about it, but I would like to ask you, could you maybe compare these training sessions with high level people, high level athletes, professional athletes in jiu-jitsu, and regular type of classes given in Hanzo's, Marcelo's, Unity, whatever, all these gyms around the city? Could you compare it and maybe to put it on some kind of like scale level, you know, when it comes to the skills and
Yeah,
intensity too? Yeah.
it's tough, man, because at Marcelo's it's the same. You have like ADCC champions in the room all the time, and pretty much you can pick your training to just be as hard as you want at Marcelo's. I mean, it's hard every single day. Like everyone there is good, so it's not much different. It just it's a little bit more intense now because there's less people. You don't sit rounds out, of course, and every single person you have is just amazing. So I don't know. It's not too much difference. It's just I'm getting to train with different people and I'm learning different perspectives on techniques because of that. So I would say the difference is that mostly stylistic.
I understand. Now, question it's really interesting to me personally. When it comes to a game, how we like to say, you know, when it comes to your personal game, you know, and in order to improve your game, what do you think? What is the crucial? Is that drilling? Is that like sparring? Is that sparring with the with the better, more skillful guys or less skillful guys, and everything? I assume everything, right? What I just said.
I think it's a healthy balance of all of that. You need to be able to have people that you need to be able to drill, first of all, and understand the movement. You know, that's the nervous system remembers movements, and the more you can train that or introduce it and familiarize yourself with the movement, the better, you know, at it you're going to be typically. But to drill it and then to do it against a resisting opponent, you know, that's when it comes in. I think that it's fair to have some easier rounds so you can practice those moves. But of course, you need to be able to apply them to the best people. Have to work at the best people. So, and then that's where the best people come in. But often it's hard to do that because they're so good, you know. So then you often resort back to your A game, and it kind of stunts the learning. So I think it's a fair mixture of all of the above.
Definitely. What I learned actually in my world, that if I want to practice my offensive game, I will choose someone on my level or below my level. If I want to practice my defensive game and to try to stay alive, I will then drill with some better people than me. And that is generally it's unwritten rule, you know. When I spar with people who are like much more above my level of skills, I must be defensive because
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not able to play offensively over there, and that is how it works for me. Yeah. So now I trained with you a number of times, and Actually, I learned a lot from you, and I thank you for that, of course. I hope we will train in the future too. And I learned that you have that because I have a lot of background when it comes to teaching, and actually my education is related to that. And I learned that you really have this skill set on how to transfer the knowledge to other people, which is great skill. So is there any plans for you that you might be maybe start to teach in the future or start teaching in the future, or maybe your final goals when it comes to jiu-jitsu, maybe one day to have your own story or your own school? What do you think about it? I mean,
Yeah. Of course, first, I hope we do get to train more, and I'm sure there's no question that we will. So, um, but I love jiu-jitsu. I love training it, and I have some opportunities to be able to teach now, thankfully. So I'll be hopefully exploring that option soon. And as for my goals, I'm going to teach and train jiu-jitsu the rest of my life for as long as I can. Um, but yeah, I'm looking at actually switching into MMA. I would like to become a more well-rounded martial artist, and I believe like combining that with stand up and then the intermediary position wrestling and getting it to the ground for jiu-jitsu is really good. I think it's the best way to do that. So that's probably my end goal, is to be able to is to fight. But as for jiu-jitsu, I'll be teaching that and training it the rest of my life. So
definitely. So definitely you're gonna stick to the jiu-jitsu, to sport as well. I'm pretty much sure that very soon you will start teaching here in New York, and that will be kind of like uh, good for your how to say, for the future developing of your jiu-jitsu, because I know that very soon you'll become one of these people who are wearing a black belt around their waist. I'm pretty much sure, because I know how much you dedicate to your training, and it's just amazing. That's why I really wanted to speak with you about jiu-jitsu today. One more thing before we conclude. Um, for the future, would you like to stay in New York, or it's too early to speak about it? I mean, I know you found great friends over here, and you build up this community over here, but maybe, I don't know, would you like to settle down here for good for the rest of the life, or somewhere else?
uh, it's hard to say. I'm very fortunate to be able to have the opportunities I have here. To train, and it's not something that I want to easily give up. There's still so much for me to benefit from, and so many things to do before I would consider leaving New York.
Definitely. Now you have your brother on board. You are not alone, so it will be easier for you. You have a company, and then to take care about each other. Why not? And
Yeah,
that's a great one. There's a one comment. Probably this is one of your friends. Uh,
Stilo. Yeah,
yeah, so I would like to greet everyone who are watching and who will be watching this video later on. Hunter is a great guy, and I'm really fortunate to have him as a friend, and to train with him and to learn from him. Definitely. Uh, before I let you go, and I know you'll be going to train this evening, I want you to have your rest. I would like to ask you, of course, if you have maybe something to share with my followers, with people who follow my work. Actually, what I'm doing on my Instagram, and actually on my Facebook page, CRNIRULES. This is one project that I've established a couple of months ago, and I like to follow successful people, not just in sport but in life in general. And I like to share this with people, and maybe to bring everyone's health on another level, on let's say better level. So if you can send some kind of like recommendations or something, please.
Yeah, of course. First off, I want to say thank you for inviting me on here to do this interview today. And of course, everyone, thank you for tuning in and watching. Um, and it is true, CERNI rules. The philosophy and mindset of it is really cool, and I'm happy to see you be so successful with it, especially with you just starting out, kind of introducing it to the world. So that's really awesome, guys. If you don't follow Cerny already, please give him a follow and check out his content. He's inspiring people, and that's the kind of thing that we need, I think, more of in this world, is just making people realize that they can do better and that they are better. And yeah, like Estilo, man, this guy is awesome. You're never too old. You just do it. Just start, you know. And the big thing is just to be healthy and have fun. And yeah, also, of course, I want to shout out Grip Tape. Gianni's finger tape company. It's I use it every single day. It's great. My fingers are not too terrible looking yet because of that. So you can check it out on Grip Tape on his Instagram. And yeah, guys, train jiu-jitsu, have fun. You know, most importantly, enjoy what you do. And I don't know. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, Hunter, for joining me today. I wish you success in the future, and I know it's going to be like that. The most importantly, I wish you good health, you and your family, and we'll see each other another time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe before, maybe after some of your fights in the future. Wish you all the best, brother. Thank you once again, and I'll see you later.
Thanks for us.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.